Hello, everybody. It's 12 p.m. So welcome to this investment opportunity presentation. Today, we're going to be presenting Williams Corporation First Mortgage Investments, which is one of our wholesale funds we currently have open. Let's get into it. Now, every great presentation needs to start with a legal disclaimer. If you're watching this as a video, feel free to pause it and read the legal disclaimer. If you're watching this live, I recommend just reading the disclaimer as I speak. The key points of the legal disclaimer is no one in Williams Corporation is independent financial advisors. We do everything we can to make sure the information we present to you is true and accurate, but please make sure you do your own research and seek your own advice before making an investment decision. Thank you very much. Now, we are going to do a Q&A at the end. The Q&A is one of my favorite parts of the presentation. I truly love your engagement. I want the questions that you have in your mind, I want you to ask them and we will answer them. So you see down the bottom right, there is a chat box. Any questions you have during this presentation, just enter them in that chat box and we will do a really thorough Q&A session at the end. So there's no silly questions. Make sure you ask it. If you're thinking it, other people will be thinking it too. And I'd love you to be the brave person that takes the lead on the Q&A. Now, today's agenda, you're going to have an introduction to the speaker. We're going to discuss who is Williams Corporation, essentially the borrower of this investment opportunity. We're going to have an introduction to Richard Carr, our funds manager. Richard is going to present you the investment opportunity, Williams Corporation First Mortgage Investments, followed by a Q&A session. So we'll wrap this up in about 35 to 45 minutes, depending on how long the Q&A goes, and we'll make sure we use your time effectively. Now, a little bit about me. I come from a family where everyone is in construction, mother, father, aunties, uncles, granddads, cousins. I can promise you it makes for very interesting Christmases. I'm a qualified builder, so I've served my time in this industry from the ground up. I started my building apprenticeship when I was 16 and I was qualified at 20. I've owned a business since 2011, so I've been a business owner for 12 years. I'm a thought leader in the business space, so I'm always called upon by different media organizations for comments on the property industry. I live in and invest in Williams Corporation houses, so I own the product that Williams Corporation creates in a large manner. And my largest claim to fame is I am the co-founder of Williams Corporation, which is one of the largest privately owned residential builders in New Zealand. So that's just a little bit on my resume. Yeah, who I am. Now, before we get into the First Mortgage Investments presentation, it's very important that we explain to you the other funds that we've managed and the scale of our funds management, and also Williams Corporation in general, the borrower. We need to present to you how Williams Corporation has been as a fund manager, our track record, and we need to talk to you about Williams Corporation as a company, as there is a lot of linking of these different entities. So let's start with Williams Corporation. Who is Williams Corporation? Williams Corporation is a residential property developer. We build homes that are affordable to live in, affordable to buy, affordable to live in, affordable to maintain, where you can live, work, and play. We were established in June 2011, so we've been trading for over 12 years. And our current goal is to build 500 houses every year in New Zealand with excellence. We have built 500 houses a year for the previous 2 financial years, and we are on track to deliver between 400 and 500 houses this financial year as well. So we are people that achieve our goals. We are people that do the business. Now, a little bit of a dashboard. Last financial year, we delivered 503 houses to our customers, valued at 373 million. And in our career, we've delivered 1,858 houses, valued at over $1 billion. So we have delivered over $1 billion of property to our customers. So just to emphasize, We're not a real estate office, we're a property developer. So these are houses, we bought the land, got the consents, sold, delivered to customers. It is a huge amount of business for a private company to produce in a very short period of time. So in Williams Corporation, we talk about a 12-month delivery. And I'm going to explain that to you in a little bit more context. So this is the averages of Williams Corporation's development. So all the developments we've ever done, our average time to achieve our consents is 7.11 months. Our average time to build a development is 8.7 months. And our average total development time is 15.7 months. Now, for the first 3 months of a development, we normally have that development where it's in due diligence and we're sorting the consents in the background and it hasn't been released to the market. So essentially what we say in Williams Corporation is from the day we release a development to the market for sale, we want to be giving the customers keys 12 months later. Now, these are averages, so there are some projects that are shorter, some projects that are longer, but that is a really good snapshot of the delivery window that we aim for and the delivery window that we've achieved for our 1800 plus houses. So in our history as a funds managers, we've raised over $270 million, which is a huge amount. We've paid out over $39.2 million in dividends to our investors, and we currently have 4 wholesale investment funds open. So why is Williams Corporation a relatively new company in a relatively competitive industry? Why have we come in and taken a disproportionate market share and achieved a huge amount in a relatively short period of time? And it's hard to put success down to a few bullet points, but these are some key ones that we see. People buy homes from us because they're low maintenance, exceptionally well built, well located. We don't have price escalation clauses. They're turnkey and ready to move in. We have fair sunset dates that protect the customer. We make the process easy, and we have generous floor plan sizes when compared to other townhouse developers. So let's have a look at how beautiful these homes look. That is the lovely Mahua Lane. It looks so good when you see a big row of Williams Corp houses just because we do everything so well. This shows a more dense living. This is a central city development in Christchurch on Madras Street. This is a beautiful development in Mirrorvale, and this really highlights the permanent materials. We always try and use permanent materials where we can, a brick and an aluminium weatherboard. We know that this is going to look great for a long period of time, and we know that this will have very little maintenance for the customer. The interior shot of one of our 1-bedroom townhouses. Now, I need to say almost all because we have one floor plan with a slightly different bedroom, but I can say almost all of Williams Corporation bedrooms are what we call a double bedroom. So a double bedroom is where at least you have a minimum dimension of 3 meters. So an average bedroom might be like 3 meters by 3.5. Now, when you have a minimum dimension of 3 meters, you can fit a queen size bed with 2 bedside tables easily, or you can fit 2 single beds. So it becomes a really, really practical size room. And you can see in that photo the usability of that bedroom. We do our bathrooms really well, tiled floor, tiled shower. We use the hob base to mitigate maintenance, Japanese bidet toilet, lots of storage. That mirror has a cabinet, so there's lots of storage, big drawers. It's just a really, really practical bathroom for the customer. So summary of Williams Corporation, we're an honest company. We've been in the property market for 12 years. We are one of the largest privately owned builders in New Zealand, / one of the largest builders in New Zealand. Our homes are attractive to owner-occupiers because of the location and the quality, and our homes are attractive to investors because of the price and the return. We build homes that are affordable to buy, affordable to live in, affordable to maintain, where you can live, work, and play. So now we're going to present to you a new investment opportunity. Well, it's not a new investment opportunity, but it is a fantastic investment opportunity. Williams Corporation First Mortgage Investments. So handing over to you, Richard.
Thanks, Matthew. So I'm very proud to be the national fund manager with Williams Corporation, and in particular, my role is supporting the development side of the business through raising wholesale funds from qualified wholesale investors. And so part of that role enables me to get a hands-on involvement with each and every deal that we do, as well as going out to site, talking with those investors, getting them to be familiar and comfortable with our product. In terms of who am I, a bit of my background, I spent near on a decade in the commercial real estate market and the economic development space. I'm a graduate of economics and statistics. I absolutely love numbers. I love talking about stories and how those numbers really manipulate the overall picture. And, you know, this week we've got a huge moment in New Zealand history. We've got an election, very important, and seeing some of the numbers coming out from the polling and seeing how those numbers are going to change over the next week is going to be fascinating. So not only am I here to be the fund manager and get involved in all the details of the development, I'm also here to provide information to our team, information to our investors, and information to the market about how we're doing, how the funds are performing, how we see the macroeconomic picture unwinding in New Zealand, and really how we're going to continue to be as successful as we've been for the past decade on and into the next decade. Part of the fund management business was recognizing the limitations of the existing financial arrangements in New Zealand. And in particular, when we launched Williams Corporation Capital, our first wholesale investment fund, it truly revolutionized the market in our ability to deliver high quality homes at a really clear rate of return for investors, really clear price point for homeowners. And most importantly, in the background, is it provided a really stable source of funding so that we could continue to commit to building that pipeline and delivering quality homes in New Zealand. One of the biggest issues we've seen in New Zealand has been that ebb and flow of building consents. As every time that there's a market change, the banks, those major lenders, normally pull back and we see consenting volumes start to drop. The Williams Corporation Capital, Williams Corporation First Mortgage Investments, Williams Corporation Partnership, and Completed Home Funds, those four funds have provided us with an opportunity to continue to support affordable homes in New Zealand with a predictable quality that ensures that we can continue to deliver, we can deliver on the promises that we've made, and we can provide really good return to our investors who provide us with that capital. To date, we've raised more than $270 million into those funds, and that's a really incredible achievement because that's true wholesale investors in New Zealand supporting the development and building affordable homes for other New Zealanders to really get and sink their teeth into. So I'm really proud about what we've achieved. More directly, Williams Corporation First Mortgage Investment is why you're here today. This is a particular fund that we launched with a very specific, and it's right there in the name, a very specific security afforded to it. First mortgage investment. So we honor this by issuing Class A redeemable preference shares. We pay a 10% gross return annually, and those distributions are paid quarterly. Now, where this is marginally different from our other products is this investment opportunity only extends funding when there's a first mortgage security available. So it can only be done on land or built structure and only during that development window. It's a very specific opportunity for wholesale investors. And we think that it's really clear as to why we've got different products for different things. And it allows our wholesale investors to align their risk appetites with any particular merit or opportunity afforded. Now, this opportunity and this offer, along with all our other funds, is only open to people who qualify as a wholesale investor or who do not otherwise require disclosure under Part 3 of the FMCA. So that's kind of the fun legal disclaimer at the bottom, but wholesale investors only. As we've said, Williams Corporation First Mortgage Securities offers Class A shares, and these are non-voting redeemable preference debt securities in the company. And so that allows Williams Corporation First Mortgage Security to raise capital and extend it to one of the borrowing entities, such as Matthew said, which is the developer Williams Corporation. We see that those funds are raised and the costs are applied against the development progress on site. And that's either for a land settlement or it's for the progress made by pouring slabs, putting up frames, putting on the roof, and making sure that that development continues on. A minimum investment term is required because the nature of putting down a slab and putting up a frame means that this is an illiquid opportunity. So the minimum investment term is 12 months from the date of issue and subject to a withdrawal notice to Williams Corporation First Mortgage Investor. The minimum investment amount is $100,000 at this stage. However, we can agree and work with investors on a suitable investment opportunity for them, so long as they qualify as a wholesale investor. Now, two of the key functions or the security positions afforded by Williams Corporation First Mortgage Investment. One is the LVR covenant, which is the fund will only extend funds on a project to a maximum of 70% of the development value at the point of completion. This ensures that there's a high return sitting within the project to ensure that we can pay back Williams Corporation First Mortgage Investment the full amount of the extended capital. So that security structure of 70% is one fantastic part of the structure. The second part is the drawdown process. Now, the drawdown process is really important because it ensures that progress made on site is in line with the funds that are advanced. We don't just extend money for any reason. We don't lend that money to the borrower just because they want it. As each one of those milestones that are met, such as pouring a slab or putting on a roof or installing a kitchen, that's when they're allowed to apply for funding and further funding's advanced to them to do so. So that ensures that we don't get these projects that are out of line with the development, out of line with the progress being made on site, and the investors really secure in those coverages and covenants that are being put in place on the borrower. Who can invest? We've talked about it a little bit, but just to get into a bit more detail, is this offer is only available to wholesale investors and not suitable for a retail investor and is not available to them. Now, we want to work with you and we want to understand your interest in our fund. So please engage with us and discuss with us, and we can help you understand that eligibility and ensure that you are qualified as a wholesale investor, and we won't be accepting any applications from retail investors, but we can support you through that process. And if you're not a wholesale investor, then that's all right as well. And I'm sure Matthew will figure out a way to sell you a house, but these offers in the wholesale fund are not suitable for you. We're really proud about the opportunity that we give those wholesale investors to invest in a company that's doing a great job supporting one of the biggest issues of our time, which is housing affordability. We continue to build these exceptional homes, and we know that with the help of wholesale investors and investors in the fund, we can continue to do so. Your partnership with us supports a reputable group with a decade of history developing and delivering. As Matthew said, over $1 billion in sales, over 1,800 homes delivered to date. And that's just the start. We plan on continuing on every year to produce another 500 homes for New Zealanders across the country. We highly recommend that all material is always reviewed by your legal counsel and your financial advisors, but otherwise, please reach out to myself, reach out to Matthew, or any of the client consultants at Williams Corporation, and we can discuss this opportunity in more detail.
Richard, as always, just exceptional. You did a fantastic job. We're very lucky to have you in the team. So my summary of Williams Corporation First Mortgage Investments, we're good people. We run a good company. We build houses that are affordable to buy, affordable to live in, affordable to maintain for Kiwis. We need good people like you who's watching this. We need wholesale investors so we have sufficient funds to achieve these goals. We've had amazing support from the wholesale investment community. The numbers that we've managed has been far more than my wildest expectations when I made our first fund 4 years ago. But if this opportunity ticks boxes for you, we made this for a very specific investor. The investor was someone that wanted to invest, say, anywhere from $750 to $3 to $4 million, and it was really important to them to have a first mortgage. This product was created for you. It's a lovely product. It has been open, Richard, fact check me, probably 2.5 years, approximately.
A little bit longer than that, but
good.
it is doing very well and continues to deliver for those investors.
Yeah, fantastic. So we're good people. We do a good job. We've got lots more work to do. So if this opportunity interests you, we would love to have you as a customer. So now, Richard, let's get into the people's questions. What do we have?
So I've got on my other screen, I've got a few of those questions coming through. So the first question, and it's quite a common one that we get, is why are there multiple funds? We talked about Williams Corporation Capital, Williams Corporation First Mortgage, Williams Corporation Complete. Why do we have multiple funds, Matthew?
Okay, so the original fund was Williams Corporation Capital. And essentially, Williams Corporation Capital is where you take securities over all of the developments Williams Corporation have, all of the houses. Myself and my business partner, Blair, put in the first chunk of money as B-class shares. So we have to lose a big chunk of money before investor capital is at risk. You've also got personal guarantee, trust guarantee. Williams Corporation Capital is the everything. It's also our largest fund, and it is the fund that I normally recommend. Now, then what happened was we found that there were certain investors that said, I like it, I'm there, I can't get my head around investing unless I exclusively have a first mortgage. And we said, that's fair enough. If that is important to you, we will make a product for that. So this is for an investor that believes that for the investment to work for them, they can only invest on a first mortgage basis. That's why Williams Corporation First Mortgage Investment was created. We then had Williams Corporation Capital Partnership, which is essentially where we allowed eligible investors to gain access to Williams Corporation Capital. And then as we've entered this new phase of the market, and for the first time, we now have a percentage of our book as completed houses. We are finished and we're selling complete. We released a completed house fund. And that is for people that only want to invest and have security as a completed dwelling that is actively being sold. So the four funds actually they serve four very different purposes. They are independently different. I still have a soft spot in my heart for Williams Corporation Capital. It is the oldest fund. It is the largest fund. It has the largest security. And it is something that is very special to me. But I completely understand the investor that only wants a first mortgage. And for that investor, this product or our completed homes fund is a fantastic opportunity for you.
So in summary, Matthew, is each of the funds provides a different funding source for Williams Corporation, but it also provides to an investor a different merit or a different security profile so that they can find something that aligns with their expected exposure and their expected risk and return.
Correct. And also the other thing Williams Corporation Capital Partnership does, Williams Corporation Capital has a public list of the investors on the New Zealand Companies Office. If for some reason you didn't want to be publicly listed, you can enter Williams Corporation Capital through Williams Corporation Capital Partnership, and that keeps your details private. So there is also a privacy component there as well.
No, I mean, that's a really good summary for our interested parties as to why we've got these different products. And I understand, as a wholesale investor, you always should ask the questions, and sometimes they're as simple as, why is there multiple choices?
Yeah. And there are people, what I've found from the wholesale investment community is they have their rule book based on their experiences and their life. And a lot of the wholesale investors, no matter how much I believe in a product, it has to tick their tick list. And I believe that we've created multiple opportunities to facilitate the largest base of wholesale investors investing in one of our funds.
Fantastic. The second question is pretty quick, and it's, can you tell me the difference between a first and a second mortgage?
Yes. So it's essentially ranking. It's the difference between first and second place. So what would normally happen is when you settle a development, it's very common for a property developer to have two mortgages on a site. So you imagine we are doing a property development, we settle the land, we would normally settle that with Williams Corporation Capital, and Williams Corporation Capital would have a first mortgage. We're doing our consenting, our sales, we might build that up to slab on. We would then engage a construction funder that would come in and pay for the construction of that development. And in that case, Williams Corporation Capital moves to a second mortgage. The construction funder funds the construction of that development. When the development is completed and the customers are settling, we pay down the first mortgage funder. Then we pay down the second mortgage funder, which is Williams Corporation Capital. Then we receive our equity and profit that we have put into that transaction back, like a waterfall.
Got it. So everyone, all the lenders get paid before any money gets returned. All the first mortgage gets paid, then all the second mortgage, and then the leftover profit is returned to the development company.
With the exclusion of the GST, which goes to the government.
The government always shows up to take their few pennies as well. The next question is actually a little bit different. We've got a question which is, I want to learn more about the market, but I might not be an investor. Is that all right? And yeah. I can answer that one very quickly, which is absolutely. We still want you to reach out. We still want you to talk to us. As I said, one of the greatest pleasures in my life is debating what's going on in the market at the moment. So please feel free to call anyone in the team. Just have a talk about the market. Come in for a coffee. Every Tuesday, Williams Corporation hosts a social session from 4 o'clock at any one of our offices in the country. Walk in, talk about the market, understand property, be with like-minded people. Absolutely, we want to talk to you regardless of your intention to invest with us or not. We'd obviously love for you to invest, but it's also an opportunity to learn more, do more, and become more by engaging with like-minded people.
I have customers that I worked with for 8 years before I transacted with them. Like, we're good people and we're going to do what's right by you, even if you're not a customer today.
And so the last one is, me and a friend want to invest together. Is that something that Williams Corporation can help me do?
Yes, so there is. So the caveat being, I don't know you and your friend's case, but we have definitely had multiple parties that have become wholesale investors that weren't wholesale investors on their own. There are a whole lot of technicalities and legal disclaimers and things that we have to go through. But long story short, yes, but the exclusion being, we need independent legal advice, you need independent advice. We'll present to you what we believe you need to do to achieve it. You'll need to check that with your lawyer, accountant, or financial advisor. And then based on it being compliant with the FMA, we would love to have you as an investor. But we'd love for you to reach out, explain your situation, and we can present our case of how we believe we can help you.
Oh, that's a much more detailed summary than I was going to say, because my answer is always reach out to us. Yeah. We want to talk to you anyway. We want to talk about your circumstances. We want to give you the information. We always recommend that you get external advice, and we get our own external advice around compliance and regulation and the FMA. And so we continue to be guided by those overall regulators, but we do just want to have a conversation with you. We want to understand your position, and we want to understand whether we've got something that might be suitable for you to look at.
Yeah, think about it this way, right? If you reach out, best case, you are going to find an investment that you are happy with and invest. Worst case, you're going to talk to a good person and learn about Williams Corporation, the market, and the different products we offer. So best case, you get the investment you're looking for. Worst case, you learn something. I cannot see any downside, and I've never had downsides with the customers I dealt with of someone making the call, doing the inquiry, and talking to us. We'd love to talk to you. So is that our last question? Good. By the way, what exceptional question.
I've got nothing more on my little board that people have been messaging me on, so I have no further questions from the floor.
Right. What is the investment process? One of the things that I really, really believe in is making the paperwork stress-free. So essentially, there's three main bodies of documents that need to be complete. So it's signing the IM subscription form, there's then an international tax form, and then there's an AML form. So there's three bodies of forms. Now, we have made it very, very clear on the IM that the investment only becomes active when the funds are deposited. So essentially what can happen is you can come into a Williams Corporation office, you can be on a video call with us. If you're 50, 60% sure you want to do the investment, a Williams Corporation client consultant or Richard or a member of our legal counsel or myself can do the forms with you. We will then audit the forms, make sure they're compliant. Our lawyer will audit the forms, make sure they're compliant, and send you a deposit slip. Now, the investment only happens when you transfer the money. So if you get cold feet from when you sign the forms to when you get home, you don't have to transfer the money. We're still friends. It's absolutely fine. That's not legally binding. So I purposely set the process up in that manner because I wanted you to be able to go through this process and then be able to sit by yourself at home with your transfer and actually make the decision yourself on your own time. So the process is very simple. We have a public Google Drive, which has all of the information. You're welcome to request it from Richard or any client consultant, and that has the forms in it as well. They're not the easiest forms in the world because we have different forms for trusts, different forms for companies, different forms for individuals. There is a little bit to it because this is a financial instrument, but we have a professional team that would love to help you with it and go through with you page by page and make sure you nail it. So that's the investment process. And Richard and I just want to say thank you. You've taken 35 minutes out of your day to hear this presentation. We hope we provided value. We hope that you're interested in these financial instruments. We would love to have you as an investor so we can build more houses which are affordable to buy, affordable to live in, affordable to maintain for Kiwis. And have a great day. Thanks very much. Do you want to talk about contacting you, Richard?
Yeah, absolutely. Please feel free to reach out to me at any time, either by email if you're comfortable with that, or obviously just direct dial my cell phone and I'll pick up. We can have a conversation about your circumstances, your interest. We'll get you into the office. We'll have a coffee. We'll have a chat. So thank you again for your time. Really appreciated. And please reach out to anyone at Williams Corporation. We'd be happy to explain this offer further to you.
Cool. Thank you very much and have a great day.